You're sitting outside on a warm evening. Your friend next to you is untouched. You are covered in bites. It feels personal. It isn't. Something is reading you right now. Not your face, not your clothes, your breath, your skin. The exact chemical signature of who you are. And out of everyone at that table, it has already decided you are the one. Most people think mosquitoes bite at random, a blind, hungry insect bumping into whatever's closest. That idea is comforting. It's also completely wrong. A mosquito doesn't wander toward you by accident. She tracks you. And yes, it's always a she. Only female mosquitoes bite because she needs the protein in your blood to develop her eggs. The males spend their whole lives drinking nectar, harmless and forgotten. So how does she find you in the dark, from 30 feet away, out of a crowd of other warm bodies? She starts with your breath. Every time you exhale, you release carbon dioxide. A mosquito can detect it from over 10 meters away, riding it upwind like a scent trail leading straight back to its source. This is the first filter. It tells her something living is nearby, but it doesn't tell her who to choose. That decision comes next, and it's far stranger. Once she's close, she switches senses entirely. She stops following gas and starts reading skin. Your body is constantly releasing a cloud of chemical signals. Lactic acid, ammonia, uric acid, and hundreds of other compounds produced by the bacteria living on your skin. To you, it's invisible. To her, it's a name tag. Dr. Leslie Vaussall at Rockefeller University has spent years studying exactly how mosquitoes process this chemical mixture. Her lab discovered something unsettling. Mosquitoes don't rely on just one receptor to find humans. They have overlapping, redundant systems so that even if you block one, she finds another way to smell you. Evolution built in a backup plan. She was never supposed to lose you once she got close. And this is where it becomes personal, because not everyone's chemical signature smells the same to her. Researchers at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, led by entomologist James Logan, ran an experiment that reads almost like a party trick. They had identical twins sit in a wind tunnel and measured which arm mosquitoes moved toward. Identical twins, sharing nearly the same genetics, still showed differences in how attractive their skin bacteria made them. Genetics loads the gun. Your personal microbiome pulls the trigger. What does that actually mean for the person sitting next to you at the barbecue? It means their skin bacteria produce a slightly different chemical mix than yours. Maybe more of the compounds she loves, maybe less. It has nothing to do with how sweet your blood is. That's a myth. It has everything to do with the smell you can't consciously detect, but she can measure with extraordinary precision. There's more. Body temperature plays a role too. So does the amount of carbon dioxide you personally exhale, which tends to increase with body size, which is part of why pregnant women and larger adults often get bitten more. Beer drinkers get targeted more often as well. Nobody fully knows why. One theory points to a slight rise in body temperature and ethanol compounds released through sweat after drinking. The science isn't finished, but the pattern shows up again and again in field studies. Blood type factors in as well, at least according to several field studies. People with type O blood have shown up as more attractive to mosquitoes in controlled trials than people with type A. Nobody has fully mapped why. One hypothesis involves secretor status, a genetic trait that determines whether your blood type markers show up in your sweat and saliva, giving mosquitoes an extra chemical clue to work with. Roughly 80% of people are secretors. If you're one of them, you're broadcasting even more information than you realize. Clothing color plays a role too, though it operates on a completely different sense. Once a mosquito gets within a few meters, she switches partly to vision. Dark colors, navy, black, deep red, stand out more sharply against most backgrounds than lighter colors do. Some researchers believe this mirrors how mosquitoes evolved to track large animals in open landscapes, where a dark silhouette against the sky or horizon was the easiest thing to lock onto. You, in a black shirt, are doing an unintentional impression of a very large, very slow prey animal. Now here's the twist most people never hear. Willem Takken, an entomologist at Wageningen University who has spent decades studying mosquito behavior, found that this attraction isn't fixed. It shifts. A mosquito's preference can change based on infection status, time of day, and even the specific species involved. Some mosquitoes are dawn hunters, some prefer dusk, some are drawn more to movement and dark clothing than smell alone. There isn't one single formula for mosquito bait. There are dozens, layered on top of each other, and you are being scored against all of them simultaneously without ever knowing the test is happening. Think about what that means. Every single day your body broadcasts a signal. a mixture of gas, heat, and bacteria that most animals on Earth pay no attention to. But one tiny insect has spent over 100 million years evolving the exact sensory hardware to decode it. Mosquitoes predate humans. They predate most mammals. Fossils show mosquito-like insects going back over 200 million years, quietly refining this exact skill while the rest of the world changed around them. Consider the scale of that arms race. For 200 million years, the animals mosquitoes fed on had one option: evolve better defenses, thicker hides, faster reflexes, sharper senses of their own. And for 200 million years, mosquitoes kept adapting around every single one of those defenses. Humans are, evolutionarily speaking, a very recent development. We've only been a viable food source for a few 100,000 years, and in that short window, mosquitoes still managed to fine-tune a detection system precise enough to tell identical twins apart by smell. That's not luck. That's relentless, incremental refinement, generation after generation, tested against billions of encounters. It also explains why mosquitoes are so hard to outsmart. You're not dealing with a single strategy. You're dealing with a layered system. Carbon dioxide for long range, body heat and visual movement for medium range, skin chemistry for final targeting, all running in parallel, all backed up by redundant sensors in case one channel gets blocked. Nature rarely builds something that fragile when the stakes are survival. She built a mosquito with 3 or 4 ways to find you, so that losing one signal barely slows her down. And here's the part that reframes everything. She isn't hunting you because she's cruel or because you did something wrong or because your blood is somehow special. She's running a survival calculation. Her eggs need protein. Protein means blood. Blood means finding a source efficient enough to make the trip worth the risk, because landing on you is dangerous for her too. One swat, and it's over. So she isn't choosing randomly. She's choosing efficiently. You just happen to register as the best option in the room. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If this decision is written into your skin chemistry, can you actually change it? To a degree, yes. Studies on DEET and other repellents show they don't just smell bad to her. They actually jam her receptors, making it harder for her to lock onto the carbon dioxide and skin odor signals she depends on. It's less like putting up a wall and more like scrambling the frequency she's listening to. That's why repellents work best applied broadly and reapplied often. You're not hiding, you're jamming the signal. Diet has a smaller, more debated effect. Some studies have looked at garlic, vitamin B, and other supposed home remedies and found little reliable evidence that they change your attractiveness in any meaningful way. Your grandmother's advice about eating more garlic to repel mosquitoes doesn't hold up well under controlled testing. What does hold up is consistency. The compounds on your skin shift slightly day to day based on diet, hydration, exercise, and even stress hormones, which is part of why some nights you get destroyed and other nights you barely get touched. You're not imagining that inconsistency. Your chemistry really is shifting underneath you, hour by hour, without your permission. Even your genetics get involved in ways researchers are still mapping. Twin studies, including follow-up work building on Logan's original wind tunnel experiments, suggest that a large share of mosquito attractiveness may be heritable. That's a strikingly high number for something as complex as body odor. It means a meaningful part of why you get bitten more than your partner or your sibling was decided before you were born, encoded quietly into the genes that shape your skin's bacterial ecosystem. But here's what almost nobody considers. This entire system, the CO2 tracking, the skin odor detection, the heat sensing, exists in you too, just aimed at different targets. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment for chemical and sensory signals you're not consciously aware of. Pheromone research suggests humans pick up on subtle cues from other people's scent, stress, and even health status, all below the level of conscious thought. You are far closer to that mosquito's method than you'd like to admit. You just call it instinct instead of biology. There's a strange kind of symmetry in that. A mosquito reads your chemistry to make one of the most important decisions of her short life. And your body reads other people's chemistry constantly, shaping who you trust, who you're drawn to, who feels safe, all without you consciously choosing any of it. Neither of you is doing this on purpose. That's the part worth sitting with. A mosquito isn't malicious, and you're not paranoid for noticing patterns in who gets bitten and who doesn't. Both of you are running ancient, automatic systems built over millions of years, quietly making decisions faster than conscious thought could ever manage. The mosquito just happens to be better studied, because scientists can put her in a wind tunnel and watch exactly which arm she chooses. Nobody has built a wind tunnel for human instinct yet. But the underlying idea, chemistry shaping choice before awareness catches up, is the same in both directions. So the next time you're the only one covered in bites at the table, Consider what's actually happening. It isn't bad luck. It isn't sweeter blood. It's the end result of 100 million years of evolutionary precision engineering, tuned specifically to your unique chemical signature, running silently in the background of an ordinary summer evening. Something was reading you the whole time. You just finally know what it found.